I'm greeting you, dear listeners. You are on the channel Vovich the Grandpa and listening to the podcast on the topic Tools for Working with Wood. Here I will try to briefly tell you about the things that you will use in your workshop one way or another. Using the right tools for a specific job will make your work easier and the time spent in the workshop more enjoyable. Create your toolkit gradually, buying a tool as you need it. Price can often be a good indicator of quality, and it makes sense to spend a little more money for a tool that will work much longer. But brands do not matter. Buy what you can afford and what you really need. Don't chase trends. Buy tools that really do their job. Now we should go over each individual type of tool, so stay by. Now let's talk about chisels. A carpenter's chisel is a hand tool used to shape wood by cutting away excess material, the waste. These tools are made of fine-grained hardened steel, but one end of the blade is beveled to form a cutting edge. The width of the blade can be from 3 to 50 millimeters. In addition to width, there are also some shape differences that divide chisels into types. The first widely known type is the flat chisel. This is a powerful tool, also called as a mortise chisel, used for general work to remove large amounts of waste material. The blade is relatively short and thick, and can be either rectangular or trapezoidal in cross-section, with beveled edges of the blade. You can work with it simply by hand or with a mallet. A chisel with beveled edges is the most useful tool. It can be used as a lever when removing waste. When using a chisel, be sure to securely fix the workpiece in a vise or clamp, and under no circumstances should your hands or other body parts be in front of the cutting edge. Good sharpening is necessary. To cut a groove, clamp the workpiece in a vise, take the handle, sharpening bevel down, in one hand and strike with a mallet in the other hand, removing the bulk of the waste. Turn the workpiece over and repeat the work on the other side, gradually leveling the hole being made. Then turn the chisel over with the sharpening bevel up and, holding it between your thumb and fingers, manually cut off the remaining excess material and level the bottom of the hole. Next type is a chisel with an extended blade. This tool is used for finer work where finishing precision is required. The blade is long and thin. Its edges are either rectangular or, more often, beveled. Such chisel works only by hand, without a mallet. You press the handle by one hand and hold and guide the blade by other hand. Next type is semicircular chisels. There are some kinds of these tools, slightly rounded, medium, and strongly rounded. Semicircular chisels with a bevel on the convex side of the blade are used for wood carving and making recesses in parts. Tools with a bevel on the concave side of the blade are used for carving, cutting, planing, and cleaning profile parts, such as shaped trims. A few words about working. Cutting against the grain can split the wood and is difficult to control. But cutting along the grain produces a smoother surface and is easier to control. With the bevel down, the chisel lifts the waste away from the base material. With the bevel up, the chisel digs into the material. Making a groove, start with an indent from the marking line. When the chisel cuts into the material, it tends to shift in the direction opposite to the sharpening bevel. Finally, other types need to be mentioned. It is important to note that all of the above can be fairly attributed to the so-called European type of chisels. But there are many more other types of chisels in the world, including traditional Japanese tools. They are somewhat different in design and have their own purpose in work. I hope this information was useful for you. See you soon in the next issues.